Hi, my name is Simone Brewster. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and designer that's based in London, and I was really happy to come and do this collaborative project with William Morris Gallery and Liberty Fabrics in kind of celebration of Althea McNish and her work. Althea McNish was someone who I actually met in life, so I'd say I was introduced to her work in a kind of direct way. I'd worked on an exhibition for the Royal College of Art celebrating its designers and artists of colour, and that's actually when I first met her. And she came to hang her work, and it was the first time I'd actually known about her work, because my discipline was more three-dimensional design, furniture design and products, so she worked in textiles. So when I got to meet her and talk to her, I realised that we had so much more in common than I thought possible, really. Her heritage is from Trinidad, and that's where my father's from, and kind of a much more personal conversation took place. And then following that, I obviously went off and researched her and kind of wanted to know more about how she came into being, and realised that she was this kind of force of nature in terms of the textile industry, and doing really amazing projects kind of ahead of her time. And that was a really big inspiration to me, because there are not that many women of colour from the Caribbean who have left such a big imprint in the design world. So it was a really joy to see Althea's early works and the show basically that William Morris had put on in celebration, because it gave much more of an insight in her journey as a designer and creative. And when I was brought on to do this project, what I wanted to try and do was, not to imitate her voice, but to kind of let her voice take me on a journey onto how I could start to create another piece of beautiful work that could be celebrated. And seeing the show, and what really stuck with me and what sticks with me from looking at the textiles is that, she has this language that's very expressive, but also very painterly. And I have to admit, at first, even though I paint, it wasn't my first port of call. Initially, I started to do sketches by hand and really wanted to translate that into a digital format, because that would be easier to work with in terms of scaling and producing something, which is really a testament to her, because I don't think this is how there was no kind of digital format in this way. So I started off by doing sketches, and I translated it to this digital and was able to come up with really beautiful imagery. But at the same time, it didn't feel like it captured the qualities that I wanted to. So I ended up working back into painting. So it was a really kind of rich process, because I had to then scale up my pieces and really look into detail and how I could capture the essence of this kind of these shapes and these fruits and leaves that I decided to paint, which were somehow tropical and somehow familiar, which is what I was capturing in the digital form, in this kind of painterly language. It was a challenge, but I really, really loved the outcome.